My name's Haley Miller, and I'm 34 years old. I'm a senior project manager living in Omaha, Nebraska. And the comfortable life I have is one I built entirely with my own two hands. But it only took one text message to make it all crumble. I was leading a high-stakes meeting when my phone vibrated insistently on the conference table. It was a message from my 19-year-old brother, Brandon. My graduation trip to Cancun is $2,500. I need you to send it today. I felt a hot flush of anger. $2,500 for a vacation? My fingers typed a swift reply. No, get a job and pay for it yourself. The response wasn't from Brandon. It came minutes later in our family group chat from my mother. Her words were a cold, hard slap. Pay up or get out of this family. Your choice. My father's text followed instantly, a quiet knife in the back. Don't be selfish, Haley. Do the right thing. My heart hammered against my ribs so hard, I thought I might be sick. This was an ultimatum. Fund a luxury trip or be formally disowned. A surge of white-hot rage washed over me, so potent it made my hands shake. But underneath the anger was something sharper and more painful. The devastating realization that I had been their fool, their personal bank for years. That night, after hours of pacing my apartment and cycling through rage and tears, I made my choice. I opened my laptop, logged into my banking portal, and with a series of decisive clicks, I canceled every single automated transfer. Cancel, cancel, cancel. By 9 a.m. the next morning, the financial pipeline was shut down. My entire world had been ripped from its foundations. And what I discovered in the following days was a truth so shocking, it redefined my entire past. To all of you watching from places like Texas, California, Florida, and everywhere else, if you've ever been emotionally blackmailed by family, I want to hear your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if this story is hitting home for you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, because I'll be sharing more real, raw stories like this one. To truly understand why my brother's text was the final straw, you need the full background on the Miller family. My entire life has been a lesson in self-reliance. There were no handouts, no trust fund. I learned as a teenager that if I wanted something, I had to work for it. My parents, however, operated under a completely different set of rules. They poured all of their energy and resources into my brother, Brandon, their undisputed golden child. I was already 16 and studying for my SATs when he was born, and from that moment on, I became a background character in my own home. My mother, Linda, was the family's demanding CEO, and my father, Robert, was her silent, complicit partner. They were obsessed with maintaining a facade of success, buying Brandon the latest sneakers, funding his ski trips with friends, and throwing him extravagant birthday parties, all while their financial situation was a house of cards. Their condo was a constant money pit, always in need of repairs they couldn't afford. Meanwhile, I was working 2 jobs through college, determined to carve out a life of true independence. By 26, I was earning a real salary. By 31, I was leading a team and had purchased my own condo. My parents didn't see my success as an achievement to be proud of. They saw it as a safety net they were entitled to. 3 years ago, worn down by their constant emergencies, I made a catastrophic error of judgment. I set up a shared family bank account to help with what I believed were genuine necessities, their medical copays, the grocery bill, the utility payments. I thought I was being a good daughter, easing their burdens in their later years. I was so swamped with my own career that I never closely monitored the statements, trusting they would use the funds responsibly. My brother Brandon was raised with a silver spoon in his mouth. Now at 19, he's addicted to a luxury lifestyle he didn't earn. $300 jeans, expensive dinners, you name it. My parents not only enabled this, they actively funded it, burning through their own modest retirement savings to keep him happy. I didn't realize the depth of the deception until it was too late. I always felt like the afterthought, the one who had to have her life together so my brother could irresponsibly live his. My mother's mantra was always, "He's young, let him enjoy life." My dad would just shrug in agreement. I kept my head down, focused on my career, and sent money when they asked. That shared account was my biggest mistake. I trusted them implicitly. I truly believed it was for keeping the lights on. Looking back, the red flags were everywhere. Brandon's brand new gaming console, my mom's vague texts about unexpected car trouble. I should have seen it all sooner. My entire life, I've been the fixer, the one who cleaned up their messes. And yet, I was the one they threatened when I finally, for once, said no. Growing up, my mother's voice was a sharp, cold instrument of dismissal whenever I needed something for school. She'd say, "Figure it out, Haley." But for Brandon, they would move heaven and earth. I'll never forget his 16th birthday, a $3,000 extravaganza at a laser tag arena. I was at home that night, working overtime to make a payment on my student loans. My dad once told me, "Brandon is our chance to do it over again." The comment stung deeply, but I buried the hurt and kept pushing forward. Brandon's demands only grew with age. The latest iPhone, expensive concert tickets, designer clothes. My parents never uttered the word no, even when it was clear their credit cards were maxed out. I thought I was helping by establishing that shared account, but I was willfully blind to the reality. I've spent my entire adult life proving I don't need them. My brother has never had to work for a single thing. My parents made sure of that, no matter the cost. And me, I was just the bank. That fateful day, I was trying to finalize a major project deadline when my phone started blowing up. Brandon's text was a demand, not a request. "I need $2,500 for my graduation trip. Send it now." My blood boiled. This was for a week of partying on a beach, for cocktails in hotel rooms he had done nothing to earn. I typed back, my fingers trembling with anger. "No, get a job and pay for it yourself." I hit send, bracing for the usual sulking, maybe a guilt-tripping reply. Instead, my phone rang seconds later. His voice was a whine, dripping with the sense of entitlement that took my breath away. "You're so cheap, Haley. It's just a trip. Why can't you help me?" I gripped my phone, forcing my voice to remain calm. "You're 19. I was paying my own rent at your age. It's time to grow up." He scoffed. "You don't get it. I deserve this." Before I could respond, he hung up, leaving me staring at the dark screen, my stomach churning. Deserve it. Since when was my hard-earned money something he deserved? I tried to refocus on my work, but my mind was racing. I had spent over a decade building a stable, independent life, while he was handed everything. The injustice was a physical ache.
Later that afternoon, I received a voicemail from Brandon that he clearly hadn't meant to send. "Mom, Dad, Haley's being a bitch," he whined. "You need to make her pay." I froze, instantly picturing him lounging in their living room, playing the victim role he had perfected. Minutes later, the definitive text from my mother arrived. "Pay up or get out of this family. Your choice." My dad's message followed, short and utterly final. "Do the right thing, Haley." My hands trembled as I reread the words. The right thing? I had sent them tens of thousands of dollars over the years. $1,200 for property taxes, $3,000 for a medical emergency, countless $500 transfers to cover groceries. And now they were ready to disown me over a spring break vacation? My chest tightened, a toxic mix of pure rage and a deep, profound sense of betrayal. This wasn't about a trip. Something else was terribly wrong, and my gut was screaming at me. I called Brandon back, my voice tight with controlled fury. "Why is this such a big deal?" I demanded. Ask Mom and Dad, he shot back defensively. They said you'd pay for it. It's my money too. His money? I nearly laughed at the absurdity. It is not your money, I said, my voice low and dangerous. You're unbelievable. He screamed, You're ruining my life, and hung up again. I sat at my desk, heart pounding, replaying every single crisis phone call from my mother. The water heater burst, Haley, she'd say, her voice always a little too dramatic. My dad's texts were always the same script. Can you help us out this month? I had never questioned it. I was too busy and, frankly, too trusting. By that evening, I was pacing my home office, my work completely forgotten. Brandon's entitlement wasn't new, but my parents' nuclear-level threat felt different, more desperate, more calculated. I opened my banking app, scrolling through years of transfers to that damned shared account. Thousands of dollars sent, no questions ever asked. 2,000 here, 1,000 there, always for bills and essentials. My mother's excuses echoed in my head. The roof is leaking, Haley. Or, the car needs new tires. I had believed every word. I truly thought I was the only thing keeping them from drowning. Now their ultimatum felt like a premeditated shakeout. I texted my mom, Why is this trip worth losing a daughter over? Radio silence. I tried my dad. Explain this to me, Dad. Nothing. Their refusal to communicate only tightened the knot of dread in my stomach. I sat back, staring at my phone. They weren't just asking for money. They were emotionally blackmailing me, using my desire for a family as a weapon. I thought about that shared account, the one that I had set and forgotten. What had they really been using it for all this time? Brandon's tantrum? My parents' instant, harsh threats? This was so much bigger than a trip. I was done playing their game. Looking back, this whole nightmare taught me the most important lesson of my life. Family doesn't mean obligation. Love shouldn't come with the price tag. I spent decades thinking I had to fix them, that their crises were my responsibility. I was wrong. Setting a hard boundary, taking control of my finances, and walking away from toxicity, that's what saved me. If you're in a similar situation, feeling trapped by family and guilt, please listen to me. You do not owe anyone your financial security or your peace of mind. Protecting yourself is not selfish. It is survival. To everyone watching from across the country and around the world, thank you for listening to my story. Sharing this has been a part of my healing. Have you ever had to set a difficult boundary with family? How did you do it? Share your experience in the comments below. I read every one. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. There are more real stories like mine on the way. Your support means everything.